Trent, a fair bit to digest from that game. Where are you going to start?
Where am I going to start? We just won a first semi. So, I mean, that's the point where you have to start. You know, there's... they're hard to win. First semi's a tough contest. So, and that's what it ended up being. And, you know, there's obviously areas of our game that were, you know, really scratchy, which kept opening the door. We always had the lead, and then we kept opening the door, which, you know, allowed it to be the contest that it was. You know, of three of our errors, really, you know, three, you know, coming out of our own end, and two last plays that we kept opening the door. And but I said that this team, it's, you know, we've been imperfect this year, and we're still searching for that sort of game that we want. But we've learned to manage games to win them as well. So, you know, I'm always going to be positive with the fact that we've won a semi-final. So, on to next week.
Sam Walker, second time you sunk the Titans. You left him off most of the game. Was that always the plan for him? Yeah,
it was different on, you know, depending on Sammy Verrills, our hooker rotation with Lockie, and then also game scenario. And, you know, Sammy's done well in finishing games for us, but we're constantly in front there. And I wanted to, you know, give Lockie and Drewy the opportunity to sort of finish that game. But in the end, you know, it was a pretty easy choice when it got back to 24 all to put Sammy on there. And, it's pretty ice-cold sort of finish there again from him. And then also the tackle save, you know, they obviously made that break, but then Teddy, really experienced fullback, Sammy had to come up with that play, and then Toops on his 200 games had to finish it off.
Just on Teddy, who was brilliant tonight.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of our guys that are trying to emulate him on and off the field. You know, he's got a unique style of play, but the way that he prepares to play, the calmness that he plays with, but an intensity, the calmness and intensity, the mix that he plays with is for everyone to see. And, you know, he's a good role model for our guys to head towards, and he's built for these games and these moments.
What was happening inside the coach's box with the Matt Ikavalu era? Trent, it turned out didn't cost the match, but it was a crazy sort of moment.
On those ones you just sort of, there's nothing you can do. So on other ones you get a bit more, you know, why didn't they do that? In the end, it's just, okay, it was 24 all, and our job in the coach's box is to say what's next. So we had to start heading towards getting Sam on, and, you know, so it was just, it's just one of those moments where you can't do anything about it. It's done, and we needed to think about what was next. It was a tough lesson that for Matty, but he certainly finishes them for us, and he likes scoring tries up here. It's just a couple of errors there that he'll want to improve next week.
You've had 1,000,001 injuries this year. Like you said, you just won a semi-final. Obviously you want more, but this is an achievement in itself, given the year you've had.
Yeah, not yet. There's a certain week we can play better, and that's what we're searching for. You know, there's that game there tonight. I love the fact that they keep working hard and they'll keep trying to win. But that imperfect game that we're talking about, that continual search for perfect, even though you may never get there, that's next week. That's what we're looking forward to.
And then Manly next week. Storm showed they're vulnerable last night. Your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, obviously it ebbed and flowed there. Melbourne dominated from the start, got a good lead, and Manly had different opportunities there that they sort of came back, but Melbourne always kept that distance. You know, we're going to have to raise our level, and we're going to look forward to that challenge.
Just on injuries, do you have an update on Victor? He crunched his shoulder a couple of times in that game. Is there anything there?
Yeah, I don't know whether it was AC or nerve. You know, it's pretty big contact there. You know, that was disappointing. Then we had Siwa that went on for 5 minutes and then came off, and, you know, that was disappointing there. It was sort of, we had a two-man rotation going there for a bit. I think Rads is fine. You know, he played 80 minutes and played valiantly. So, he'll shake it off like I think I saw him do on the coverage. I think he just shook it off and got on with it, which is,
Are
He adds something though, doesn't he? Like Trent, just the way you can see the energy, the ball playing, and just trying to belt a bloke like Lasone, like just that courageous defence. It does something for the team.
Yeah, he's a game changer in that, saying that he'll go after moments, he'll go after a defensive play, or he'll go after an attacking play. You know, even when I didn't want him to overplay, he's still searching. He's got courage both in defence, but he's also got courage with the ball. That's why he's dangerous. He's happy to play and continue to play, and that's what we want.
What did you make of the Tyrone Peachey sin bin and the ref saying that Victor wasn't going to score? Were you happy with that call?
Yeah. I feel like obviously the call was right, and Jaden Campbell was right there. You know, we've had I feel like that was the right one. I feel like Rads could have possibly got there, but it's too many question marks. So yeah.
Sorry.
Obstruction calls as well. You happy with the way they went for both of you? Both teams were denied? Yeah,
because, I mean, people will say, oh, well, they didn't have an impact on the play, but Adam Kieran was wedging out the back. He was going after a few of those plays if they got close to the line. And as soon as you catch like that, you don't give them the opportunity. And it's the same. They wedged on Teddy a few times, and we didn't give them the opportunity for him to go after Teddy if they wanted to, because we caught on the inside. So, both teams had to execute their plays better.
Spare a thought for the Titans, Trent. I mean, they look like a side that's getting a little bit closer to being a pretty reasonable footy team, aren't they? They just didn't quite get there tonight. They're pretty shattered. No doubt you've been in those sort of rooms before.
Yeah, Justin's done an amazing job. I said that. You know, it's a real credit to them. They've fought hard to get into the 8. And then they had a lot of guys there playing their first week of semis. And they'll be better for it. So it's a credit to their club and a credit to the effort there to get so close, and then also get the experience that they need for future. So well done to them.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.